Greetings and salutations. In this episode, I'm going to review Star Trek Renegades. Got it playing in the background there, as you can see. Alright, this is just awesome. It's a pilot movie for a new internet TV series. And it's, set like a decade or something after Voyager returns from the Delta Quadrant. We've got Tuvok in it, we've got E-Chip, and we've got Admiral Paris. So 3 cast members from Voyager, plus Chekhov, and he's like an old 143-year-old admiral. And a new alien race they've introduced, or one that I haven't remembered anyway. And there seems to be this artifact left on their planet that, and then they try to cause havoc with the Federation with that artifact. Now that artifact opens portals like Stargates. Anyhow, you just saw it. It looks Iconian, doesn't it? San Francisco 2388, that's when it's set. This is mind-blowing. I love it. I can't say how excited I am about this movie and the rest of the series that's going to come out. This is the best, in my opinion, the best Star Trek series that's out right now on, internet series, until that other one comes out that's set in the Enterprise era. I've seen Axanar, and it seems to be a lot of hype so far, and maybe that era and the story doesn't seem as interesting to me personally. I've always, for the last, since Voyager went off air, I've been wishing that, that there would be another TV series set in that universe after, I always wanted to see what happens to the Federation after Voyager returns. And the story plot so far of this seems to fit in with Star Trek Online. So it's just mind-blowing because, after all, Star Trek Online is the closest thing we actually have to canon history for what happens in the Star Trek universe after Voyager returns. That's set in 2410, right? So another 20 years after this. And 22 years after this series. So there's, no stepping on toes, but they can sort of just start discovering the Iconians and all that stuff, and it probably won't interfere with what's happening in the game either, because, it's all completely separate. It's just awesome. The acting is good. There's real actors in this. It's directed by Tim Russ, who's Tuvok. I don't know, he must be some sort of soulmate of mine that I've never met, because his name's Tim, just like me, and I think that the episodes that he directed of Voyager were really good. Some of the best ones. And this is just excellent. The editing is really good. The production value is really good. It certainly is better than what I have seen from, Star Trek New Voyagers and Star Trek Continues. So the other 2 internet TV series about Star Trek, this is a lot more exciting for me personally. I'm 34 years old. I'm not like 50, so I wasn't actually a kid when the original series was on TV. And by the time, I sort of got interested in sci-fi and all that stuff, it was definitely the Next Generation that got me into it. I remember vividly, actually, the first night that Star Trek The Next Generation aired. I remember they did a special where they had Patrick Stewart talking about it, and they introduced the pilot episode of The Cage that was remastered, and then they showed Encounter at Farpoint, and that just totally, got me hooked on The Next Generation. Obviously, I liked Star Trek before that because I'd seen the Star Trek movies, and of course it would have been, Star Trek 2 and 3 and 4, which were my favourites. I remember growing up, my favourite was always the Voyage Home with the dolphins and stuff. The whales, saving the whales, saving Earth. But I just never liked Captain Kirk as much as I like Captain Picard, and I sort of like how it's more utopian in the 24th century. Anyway, so I give this pilot a 9 out of 10. Oh, there's a few things I haven't mentioned about it yet that blew my mind. Oh my god, John Connor is in it. And I'm a huge Terminator fan as well on the side. That's, another one of my favourite franchises. And I've seen all the movies umpteen times. And, what's his name? It's in the credits. I'm not sure if they've shown him yet. They'll show him in a minute. He's on this ship. There's a ship called the Icarus. Oh, did you see the other guy just then a second ago? We'll see him again. There was John Connor. He looks old now. You know, he had problems with drugs. Oh well, that's okay. He's a druggie. We don't mind. I don't want to spoil it, but he kind of saves the world at the end of this. So, you know, I highly recommend you watch it. Oh, remember this guy? He was from Stargate, and his ship's called the Icarus. Stargate twice. There's 3 kind of Stargatey things in this, you know, because you've got Stargates, which they're calling portals, sort of things, that you can step through from one planet to another. Yeah, look at that ship. It's awesome. I mean, I saw a drawing of it and I didn't think it looked that great. I commented on Facebook saying, oh, I don't know. But now that I'm seeing it, you know, it looks awesome. So there's 2 ships there. They both look like they're created by the Federation. The Icarus, which is the mean-looking one, that looks like it's the Section 31 ship from the sounds of it. It sounds like that whole crew has been commissioned by Section 31 and Tuvok's working for Section 31 maybe, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's that's just, you know, the old admiral from the original series, Chekhov, that maybe did it. I don't know. Anyway, there's Klingon ships. Look at this space battle scene. It's just friggin' awesome. It's amazing. Yeah, and a lot of famous actors in it, even if you don't recognize them. Like there was in the guy again who was a famous actor. I have seen these actors in other things before. That most of them are sci-fi actors that have been in sci-fi shows, and you know it's good to see each ship grown up there. There's a few creative liberties with each ship's Borg implants and stuff like that, but that's okay. I can live with that. I really hope that they're able to get some more cameos from other actors. You know, I hope they're able to get 7 of 9 to appear in this. That would be just amazing. You know, and other people from Voyager in the Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, they could have all those people in it. They all should still be alive, you know. Look at this. It's so epic. Really is. And the ships, you know, they do, although they're not in Star Trek Online, they look like the sort of thing that is in Star Trek Online. And I don't know, maybe they'll put them in there. Who knows? So obviously we know that Tim Russ has done voice work for Star Trek Online, and that when he first started doing the voice work for Star Trek Online was about 2 years ago or something, maybe, or over a year ago. And it was when this show was actually, when this was in production. They've obviously been in post-production for like a year or something. And it's only just came out a few days ago, this episode. So I highly recommend you watch it. If you haven't watched it, and I give it a 9 out of 10. Did you see how he beamed parts out of the other ship? Oh, the other ship was called the Archer, and that's just awesome too, because I like any, you know, references to the Enterprise as well. And who's that guy? He's someone. I've seen him around. He's an actor. So yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, now just on my last side note, some really big troll on YouTube who somehow has a lot of people following him, has done a review. It was the only review that sort of pops up when you watch this movie, and there's like a review under it in the recommended videos. Someone called Blunty or something, and I think that's like just his way of saying he's fat. And he is a dickhead, and everything he says about this is wrong, and he's just trolling it, and it sounds like he didn't even watch the same version that was actually released. Maybe he got some pre-released unedited version because he reckons the editing's really bad, but as you can see, the editing is actually really, really, really good, and it's kind of like, you know, Star Trek, the new J.J. Abrams kind of style of editing, which makes it all much more realistic. You've got camera movement, you know, camera follows where your eye should follow, and the fact that, you know, that it's like that makes it all more realistic, really. And you know, the aliens and their effects, like that Cardassian, he looked pretty realistic. Hey, Tuvok just did the Vulcan pinch on someone. Anyway, so I watched this other guy's review, and I didn't agree with anything he said, and then I just left a comment saying, you know, doesn't seem like you even watched the same version everybody else has watched, because, you know, this movie's fantastic, and he just trolled like the worst, nastiest reply I've ever seen on the internet from someone practically. So I highly recommend that if you are subscribed to that person, you unsubscribe to them. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Let me know what you think of Star Trek Renegades and stuff like that. I think I'll do some reviews soon of the featured episodes that feature Tuvok and Tim Russ voice acting, just to sort of bring home the tie-in that this has with Star Trek Online. And of course, there are, excuse me, frog in my throat. There are some videos on YouTube, interviews with Tim Russ, where he's talking about Star Trek Online, but then he also talks about his other project, Star Trek Renegades. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I highly recommend everyone check all that stuff out. And yeah, so enjoy this. I've put a link to Star Trek Renegades on my channel, and I'll put a link in the video description or something. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Alright, and I just wanted to post a positive review of this to counteract the only negative review that I found so far on YouTube. This is fantastic. You should watch it, and you shouldn't let other people form your opinions. Make up your own opinion. I was thinking of doing a full commentary where I watched the whole thing and talked about everything they say, but I think that's a bit too full on. It'll take me forever to upload and everything as well. So sorry, my internet's not the fastest. I'm not in one of them countries where you get cheap internet. Anyway, thanks for watching Tim of Borg Star Trek Online show. And yeah, I guess occasionally I will be talking about other Star Trek things that aren't in the game, but are somehow related to the game, like this show. Might do reviews of the further episodes. This guy has said, Chekhov, has said he's going to be in 2 more episodes, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please visit my Facebook and all that stuff, and stay tuned for the next one. See you later. Bye bye.